Hej, no więc skończyliśmy tutaj w tym miejscu przy jakimś bezdomnym, który grzeje się przy ognisku. Przeglądając sobie poprzednie odcinki, pomyślałam, że chyba tutaj będzie ten jegomość, który przy tej całej akcji z tym strzelaniem, którą widzieliśmy na samym początku, gdzie też po prostu tutaj jakaś ta jego wizja o mamy zbił mnie z tropu. Chciałam powiedzieć, że ta muzyka do takiej sytuacji była dla mnie co najmniej, nie wiem, nie pasowało mi to. No ale może taki urok ma być z tej gry. Nie wiem, ja nie jestem, po prostu nie pasowało mi to do sytuacji. Kurczę, nie pamiętam jak on się nazywał. Nie poszukiwacz. W każdym razie coś mi się wydaje, że skoro ma, tak jak tutaj nasz bohater zwrócił uwagę murowany budynek, to prawdopodobnie on. I pewnie u niego czegoś się ciekawego dowiemy. On nam prawdopodobnie pomoże. To znaczy ja mam nadzieję, że tam nie kryje się jakiś straszny typ po prostu, który zrobi nam kuku. Tak jest, jak on łowca, proszę bardzo. To jest w ogóle jakiś prowizoryczny bar z tego co widać. Kurczę, mogłam się najpierw przyjrzeć.
Nope. I'm afraid I don't have any cash on me. That's no problem here. We don't only accept cash, we also barter. We accept anything of value. That excludes checks, naturally.
Okej, no dobra, no skoro już weszliśmy w konwersację, no to... O, to jest ciekawe, właśnie.
I saw a bunch of barrels stacked up at the entrance to the building. Just out of curiosity, what's in them?
Nothing. Just some things that need to be stored. Take my advice, pal. Keep your nose out of the hunter's business if you want to keep it on your face.
Okay, it was just curiosity.
Tak myślałam, tak samo... Kurczę, no myślałam, że tam nic nie ma ciekawego w tych beczkach i się zapytałam z przezorności, dlatego na przykład nie pytałam o generator, tak? Przy tych dwóch gościach, którzy akurat to mi najbardziej wiszą i powiewają. Interesujące miejsce, nie jesteś właścicielem. Prawdopodobnie tak. Co tu sprzedajecie? No co tu mogą? Miód pitny prawdopodobnie. Okej, no dobra, no wypytajmy już.
What do you sell here?
Anything you can eat or drink. Anything that fits into a box or a bottle. For other types of goods, talk to the hunter directly. What do you need? Liquor, tobacco, food?
At the moment, I don't need anything like that, but I'll keep it in mind. Thank you.
Przepraszam, strasznie mi się ziewa dzisiaj. Czyli co? Czyli łowca zaopatruje pewnie to miejsce w te wszystkie rzeczy.
Interesting place. Are you the owner?
No, pal, don't get the wrong idea. I only work here. This belongs to the hunter, like
A
every
jednak
other
łowca
business
jest
enterprise here
właścicielem.
inside the camp. He's the head honcho.
I see.
Okej.
The cheerful patrons of the bar. I suppose the gray substance one of them is sipping is liquor.
Radośni.
I don't think he can either.
Wygląda na skrzywionego, a ten na jakiegoś zakłopotanego albo zmartwionego, ale na pewno nie radośnie, no. Podrapał się po boku, według realiów powinien podrapać się po jajkach.
Mike, my friend, it's nice to see you again.
Hi.
Przyjaciel?
This is my friend Mike. He's new around here. We met at one of the cleanup brigade's latest parties. Isn't that right, dude? Pull up a seat and have a drink. We like to be hospitable to newcomers.
Something tells me I shouldn't accept that drink. That it's not a good idea. Not anymore.
No thanks.
Ten, właśnie on jest jakoś dziwnie miły, nie?
Whatever you say. But I'm not accustomed to people turning down a drink. At least, not in my own establishment, in front of my men. So tell me, what brings you here? Now I'm the hunter, because I can find you what you want, when you want it. You know, it doesn't matter where it is, how fast it runs, or where it tries to hide. The new world gave me a new name and a new life.
A new life.
Yeah, a new life. It's hard to explain, dude. But I think in a way, you and I are similar, Mike. That's why I like you. Let me explain it to you. It was the Great Wave. The Great Wave that changed and purified everything. The old world was a messy, complicated, and unjust place. After the Great Wave, everything became crystal clear. When all the old laws disappeared, only one rule remained. You gotta do what you gotta do. It's that simple. And that's the universal law that puts each of us in our rightful place. Do you follow me?
On
You gotta do
żartuje.
what you gotta do. Sounds like a handy way to justify anything
No,
and everything.
dokładnie.
Even the indefensible.
Yes, Hank. I follow you perfectly.
I knew it. I knew you'd get it straight off, Mike. But don't call me Hank. I told you, that guy died in the Great Wave.
Kurczę, pytać się, czy się nie pytać, to jest... To nie jest typ, z którym byśmy chcieli mieć jakieś dłuższe kontakty i w ogóle. Nie no, sprzedam chłopaka, ale jak się nie zapytam... Boże, jestem starcem, nie porozmawiałam przecież wcale.
Hello.
Hello, son. Would you like to get a little closer to the fire?
Thanks, mister. This is a rather isolated part of the camp. What are you doing here?
Well, I'm waiting. That's all. Just waiting.
Na śmierć. I to jest to właśnie, dobrzy ludzie, prawda, którzy no nie mają nic, to chociaż tym ciepłem z ogniska będzie chciał cię uraczyć, a takie typki...
It's starting to get cold. Where's your tent? Or your trailer?
Yes, I had a tent once. They issued me one when I decided to enter the refugee camp after the Great Wave. The trailer was out of the question. They went to the families with the best contacts. Ah, you know how it is. Even in purgatory, some people are more equal than others.
And where's your tent now?
It was stolen from me a while back. They fetch a good price on the black market now.
Stolen? But how could anyone...
You seem to be new in the camp, am I right? These things happen nowadays. It's best to take things as they come. The reality of the new world is very simple, son. The soldiers and the moles do whatever they like on this side of the fence. And the hunter and his men run the black market and all the dirty rackets. I suggest you memorize all this.
Yes, the hunter. I know him. I talked to him in his bar.
Now, the hunter is very dangerous. Watch your step around him and his men. I happened to meet his father when he was young. He was a violent, degenerate son of a bitch. A real asshole. And I'm afraid his son has followed in his footsteps.
Tak jak się domyślaliśmy, prawda?
You say that you decided to enter the camp. Does that mean that people weren't forced to come here?
No, of course not. Why would they have to force us? The catastrophe hit the city hard. Those of us who had lost our homes were invited to come here. In principle, it was temporary, just until the authorities got the situation under control and started rebuilding. We used to have food, water, and a place to sleep.
But now it's more like a prison camp than a refugee center. What happened?
I don't really know. I guess something went wrong. The new housing they promised us never got built. And in the end, the army seized control of the camp. The food ran out, and then the water supply. Nobody bothered to replace them. Seems like our lives didn't matter anymore.
Właśnie, dokładnie. Ludzie przyjęli to za normę.
Things in here started to get very ugly. There were riots, uprisings, and the army decided to close the gates of the camp without any notice. One day they decided that no one could enter or leave here. Well, actually, people still could. Enter, that is. Now, this is where anyone who gets in the way in the city ends up. Or anyone they don't know what to do with.
So, this has turned into something like a concentration camp.
That's right, son. That's exactly what it is.
Owszem, i cały czas od samego początku coś
I
takiego
remember when
przypominało.
my father told us about the war in Europe, about all the persecution, the deportations, those overcrowded cattle cars. That all sounded to us like an old movie, And look at us now. I guess some things never change. They just stop being visible for long enough for us to forget about them.
Tak, by potem znów się powtórzyć. No właśnie.
Let's talk about something else. So tell me, is there any way to get out of the camp?
I'm sorry, son. The only way to get out of this camp is to know someone important who can pull strings for you. Or to become a camp mole. Those traitorous scumbags have gate passes.
I see.
I'm not surprised you want to get out of this shithole. You've no doubt got something to do or someone to find out there. Or they say things are better in the city. That there's order and that things are starting to function again. But who knows? Well, at least they have Reverend Blake and the consolation of Suicide Park.
No, zapytajmy, no przecież wiemy co to.
Suicide Park? What's that?
Nah, just a song that drifts into the refugee camp from the other side of the fence now and then. And the first dark stars come out to hang from the sky. We could sit and count them together, you and I, when the sun departs from Suicide Park. I'm sure you still have some hopes, some dreams. I'm afraid you're just too young to understand it.
Who's Reverend Blake?
He's a preacher who sometimes comes from the city to bring us a little comfort. Now, some people make jokes about him, but many of us believe that he's a prophet. You should hear him speak sometime. His words etch themselves deeply into your soul. That's why he has so many followers inside and outside the camp.
Często właśnie ludzi w tak ciężkich sytuacjach ratuje wiara. Dlatego tak często wtedy jej się chwytają, tak?
And what was the extent of the Great Wave's impact? How are things beyond the city?
Truth is, I couldn't tell you. In the first days, the chaos was so overwhelming that no one worried about anything beyond their own backyard. We victims were disoriented, cut off from the world. Then I came into the camp and news from far-off places doesn't reach this prison. I'm afraid you'd have to leave here to get the answer to that question.
You're waiting. And what is it you're waiting for exactly?
Nothing in particular. The usual. For the fire to go out, for sunrise, for it to get cold again. I'm waiting for something to change, or for everything to stay as it is. I'm just waiting. You're too young to understand.
A już rozumiemy to bardzo dobrze. Żeby coś się zmieniło, prawdopodobnie doczeka tak śmierci. Muszę już iść? Życzę miłego czekania? Jest.
It's starting to get cold. Where's
A
your
też
tent?
pytałam o to, dlaczego ta opcja dialogowa się nie wyczerpała.
The issue...
Let's talk about... I should be going on my way. Have a pleasant wait, mister.
Wow. Chyba zapiszę grę, najpierw nim pogrzebię w tej beczce.
Okay, here goes. It's impossible to budge these drums at all. I don't know what they contain, but whatever it is, it weighs a ton. Okay, here goes. It's impossible to budge these drums at all. I don't know what they contain, but whatever it is, it weighs a ton.
Tak, czyli co, on wybiera zawsze tą samą beczkę, więc... I nic nam tu nie daje zbytnio. A tu?
Dozens of drums stacked chaotically. They belong to the hunter, which would suggest that they can't contain anything remotely legal.
Dziwne, że dziadek nic nam... Znaczy, no powiedział, że to jest zły człowiek i w ogóle... Kurczę, co my mamy teraz zrobić? Kurczę, myślałam, że może za flaszkę, a kurczę, no mam jeszcze trochę alkoholu, to może dam im flaszkę, to co mi pogadać z nią? Nie mam pojęcia. Ej, spróbuję.
Better not. If these guys are unpleasant sober, I had to imagine them drunk.
Aha.
Use this here? How? To be frank, it doesn't seem like a very good idea to be spilling liquor around here.
Kurczę, czy oni pójdą kiedyś spać? Dobra, idę jeszcze do baru, do tego gościa. Kurczę, nie wiem. A może tym na służbie dać?
Better not to see them drunk. Their violence could escalate to hazardous levels. I don't think I'd gain anything by using this here. Better not to see them drunk. Their violence could escalate to hazardous levels.
Okej, czyli też odpadam. To jeszcze tak, został nam dziadek, to po prostu był jakiś taki dobry uczynek. Prawdopodobnie trzeba... Poczekajcie, F5? Czy w ogóle działa F5? Chyba nie. W sumie wróciliśmy do punktu wyjścia.
Better not. If I give this bottle away, somebody will just drink it. And what's worse, I wouldn't have it anymore.
Aha, no dobra. Okej. Czyli gra też troszeczkę nam pomaga nie popełniać błędów, no. Czyli musimy wypić z tamtym, tak? Kurczę, nie tu.
I doubt he needs my bottle of whiskey. He's been drinking since I came in here. I'm not going to give it to him. They're already drinking their own liquor. I'm not going to give it to him. They're already drinking their own liquor.
Greetings, pal. What's this? Are you proposing a trade? Because if you are, you came to the right place. What do you need? Liquor? Cigarettes? Food?
At the moment, I don't need anything like that. But I'll keep it in mind. Thank you.
Kurczę, no, a może fajki? Wtedy dodam tych gości z fajkami, nie kołam, no.
Greetings, pal. What's this? Are you proposing a trade? Because if you are,
Jak nie, to
you came
zostanie
to the
tylko
right
jedna
place.
opcja.
What do you need? Liquor? Cigarettes? Food?
At the moment, I don't need anything like that. But I'll keep it in mind. Thank you.
Czyli co mogę zrobić? Mogę tak, albo z nimi zagadać, powiedzieć o chłopcu. Jeszcze wrócę się do domu i zobaczę, co tam powiedzą do domu, do przyczepy. Ten będzie to samo mówił.
It's bolted from inside. I'm afraid it's not going to open.
Strasznie duża ta przyczepa. Okej, no, no nie ma opcji, no muszę po prostu pójść i zagadać do tamtego.
I don't think it's a good idea to offer him a swig. The guy's already pretty unhinged. No doubt the whiskey in this bottle would liven up the fire, but I don't see any point in that right now.
Ale dziwne, że nie mogę dać alkoholu tamtym gościom. Tym tutaj sprawach, tych co mają tą dziewczynę biedną. No muszę z nim zagadać, nie mam innej opcji. Nie widzę żadnej innej opcji.
Thinking. You know how it is. But if that drug exists, I can think of only one place you'll be able to find it.
Where?
There's a small medical center on the outskirts of the city. It's more like a pharmaceutical warehouse, but it's heavily guarded. I bet my bottom dollar that's where they keep anything that valuable. Maybe you should take a look at that building, if you can find a way out of this hellhole, that is. And I can't help you with that. You know I like you, dude. Let me give you a piece of advice. Stay away from those untouchables. From the dissolved. They won't bring you anything but trouble.
What more can you tell me about the dissolved?
Only what the authorities say. And that's all I need to know. The disease is fatal. And they say you can catch it just by breathing next to one of those untouchables. That's why they have to get rid of them as soon as possible. Have you ever seen one of those poor suckers die, dude?
No, I haven't.
Well, you're lucky, Mike. I don't recommend it. It's a horrible spectacle. It goes something like this. After weeks of drifting in and out of their trances, something happens inside their bodies. Something fails all of a sudden. The pain makes them kick and scream like pigs in a slaughterhouse. Then their flesh begins to melt, to become liquid. Do you understand, Mike? That's why they gave it that name. They literally dissolve.
But that's terrible. Those poor people.
On the contrary, dude, those bastards spread the plague. It's them or us. Understand? Anyway, you know how it works. The cleanup brigades tend to be more than generous with responsible citizens who help them with their mission of tracking down the dissolved. Mixed up in things like that, dude. The army has made it very clear. Helping or hiding the dissolved will be severely punished. Not even collaborators are free from reprisals. You saw what happened to that mole. Those pigs are ruthless about this.
What are you talking about, those pigs?
That's camp slang. The soldiers, the cleanup brigades. The inhabitants of this shithole call anyone with a rifle and a uniform a pig. They can blow your head off right on the spot with impunity.
I should be going now.
Fine, Mike. You're welcome anytime. Remember, dude, here we can get you whatever you need. No questions asked.
No właśnie, chciałam coś od ciebie, już się zmusiłam, przemogłam i zapytałam i niestety nie jesteś w stanie spełnić mojej prośby. I teraz tak, zauważyliście, że wcześniej jak zaglądałam do notesu, to już miałam tu notatkę na temat jakiejś tam lecznicy na obrzeżach miasta, choć w sensie o to jego nie pytałam, to jednak zostało to zanotowane. Teraz, gdy przeprowadziłam tę rozmowę w końcu, to